family. Catch us live on your TV screens.
Catch us live on a TV screen, 4 p.m. till 5.
Monday to Friday.
Beat the next day, 78.
No, he's lying. It's 8 till 9.
There we go.
Don't trust him.
This is where we define education as well as entertainment. Welcome to it and thank you for choosing us as your source of entertainment. Captain Sinalo, Captain Awonke, as well as Lama Limu, and this is Ekse Live. Thank you for choosing us. If you just joined us, this is where Sikalanga Kona show yetu. We've got Tutabisono Josijo. Welcome to the show, gentlemen, and thank you for giving us so that we can talk about the topic at hand. You good?
Yeah. Before we start, can we please introduce ourselves and tell us what it is that we do? Starting side and then, yeah.
Okay, my name is Josijo Masihedi. I'm from Bloemfontein, currently living in Cape Town. I'm an entrepreneur.
I always struggle with that word as well.
But mostly in filmmaking, camera operating, editing, production, and all that.
Sure.
That's the business I'm in. Yeah.
Put on.
Okay, Tabiso Kwao from Bloemfontein. I'm also an imaging filmmaker, specializing in documentary filmmaking, and currently I'm just doing freelance camera work for news.
Yeah, it's very interesting that both of you are from out of the province. What brought you to this side of the world?
From where we come from, Bloemfontein, opportunities in television and media, it's not that much. So in places like Cape Town and Joburg, that's where you get more stations, more TV work. So that's why, and also for our formal education in filmmaking.
Sure.
Yeah, that's what made me come here to Cape
Good
Town.
enough.
Yeah. So today we're talking about something that most of us here in this room can, of course, attest to, which is side hustling. You both are entrepreneurs, and our government always encourages us as young people to go for entrepreneurship. But I want to start with side hustling. How would you define side hustle? Someone doesn't know that they're doing a side hustler. How would you define that? How would you define your side hustle?
Okay, I define side hustling as having a main job where you wake up and you have your salary coming in, and then your side hustle is where you're boosting your income and you trying to get a bit more out of yourself and trying to own more, like property and all that. We all have dreams, and sometimes you see that through my job I cannot really achieve what I really want. So side hustling, that's where side hustling comes in, and maybe you just have a skill, a home skill they taught you at home, something that you do for fun, such things. Just look into that, and maybe that can become your side hustle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you currently have a side hustle, and what made you decide to pursue your side hustle if you have one?
Actually, right now I'm unemployed. I used to be employed and have a side hustle, and then as I got employed, I had to focus on my side hustle now. So that's what happened. So, yeah.
I want to come back on that. Do you still call it side hustle when you do it full time? We're going to touch on that later on.
Okay, for me, I would say filmmaking, it's something that's holistic. It includes like your producing, your directing, and your editing. So basically like your pre-production, production, and post-production. So sometimes we get involved in projects whereby you are hired to do pre-production. But as time goes by, okay, on another project you do production. On another project you do pre-production, editing. So it becomes a side hustle itself in most of the things that you do, So within one project also you can be hired to do something else, and then also on the side you can be hired to do this. You see, so that's why sometimes.
So that means in your line of work you can never actually have a permanent position. It's always a side hustle. Is that what you're saying?
No, but for now that's what I'm doing. I'm not permanent. I'm just it's just side hustle, but I am open to something permanent.
Okay, to also explain more what he's saying. What he's saying is you can I can work Monday to Friday at different companies,
Yeah.
different projects. So
Okay.
sometimes that for another person, that's a full-time job, and then, you know, on Saturday you get another job for something else that you barely do during the week. You understand?
You did mention that sometimes your 9 to 5 cannot fulfill the needs
Yeah.
of your being, so you opt to do side hustling. Are there some type of side hustling that in your mind are questionable? Like, why is she doing this? Why is he doing this?
You know, we spoke about this also when we were outside. Like, you know, as we grew up, we used to see people like Amakrotman way to
Yeah.
like always going in and out, wearing nice clothing, you know, having nice cars, but you don't know what they are really doing.
Yeah,
And then you ask them later on, what do you do? They say, I hustle.
yeah.
You see? So that's where we become intrigued also, like, what is this hustling thing?
Yeah.
What is this hustling thing? You know? So for us, it's like,
What were they doing? What's that thing that's questionable that they were doing, Lama Khotman?
You
They're
know-
not watching, don't worry.
you know, some of them, they were selling drugs, you know?
Okay.
Yeah, things like that.
You
So-
see, illegal things
Yeah,
can
illegal
be side,
things.
side
They
hustles
can't.
as well.
They can't
Yeah.
be. They can't. If it's illegal, then it can't be constituted as a side hustle. You're just breaking the law.
Like prostitution as well was sometime illegal, but it was a hustle.
Yeah, in a failing economy, I want to ask you, in a struggling economy, how advisable would it is for one to have a side hustle? Because economically we're struggling as a country. So how advisable would you say this new generation needs to start considering having side hustles?
You know, also responsibilities, you know. Responsibilities, they will uplift you to doing side hustles, you know, wanting to become better, wanting to do more. That's when you get to see like, oh, I need money for this, I need money for that, you know. So for me, I would say ambition.
Yeah.
When you are ambitious, wanting to have something big, like having goals, you need to finance those goals sometimes. So I'd say, yeah, that's where it comes from.
Earlier, you mentioned something about how people can turn their hobbies into something they can consider a side hustle. There's a misconception that anything that's side hustle is entrepreneurial. Can you actually expand on that? That maybe sometimes you can have a side hustle, doesn't necessarily have to be to do anything with entrepreneurship. You can maybe, okay, can you expand on that? The misconception that everything that's side hustle is entrepreneurial.
You know, I cannot really also differentiate between that, especially in South Africa. You know, there are so many types of also informal type of businesses that we don't really consider. Like, do we consider the lady on the corner selling fruits and veg an entrepreneur or a side hustle? You understand? Because they do that every day.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I understand what you're saying, but what I would say is if you're an entrepreneur is when you're starting something, like example, a business, you're trying to grow it, to develop, whether it's your community or whether it's yourself and your family maybe, you know, you're just trying to grow and become something. That's when I think you're an entrepreneur and you're trying to build a brand or something that's tangible to people to see that, you know, I'm doing this. Unlike when it's a side hustle, we don't really know what you're doing, like he said, but we see you're hustling, we see you getting your money, you're getting what you need, but we don't really know if that's conducive for you, whether it's working out, whether it's growing, we just see you doing it. You understand? Yeah, that's how I think that.
I guess that that lady that sells fruit vendor is an entrepreneur because she wakes up to go sell these things and then she accumulates a couple of friends and then the economy. Economical stable, you know. Who knows? One day she might open up a supermarket, fruit and veg city and stuff like that. Later on, you're gonna be joining us. I want you to ponder on the influencer culture. Is it a side hustle or
slay queen culture?
you know, think about that. We're gonna take a quick ad break, and when we return, there will be a couple of more guests. But before we chat to them, go to the loo, wash your hands for 20 seconds, sanitize, and come back. Don't forget to tell a friend that Ekse Live is live right now on the biggest television channel where we serve the people. We'll return just after this.
pt1